My name is Rob Gauthier. The ET Whisperer is what they call me, and I'm a channeler. I've done this for many years and channeled many beings, over 1,000 extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings, as well as some great collectives in Metatron and many different more beings. And it's been an amazing journey for the last 13 plus years. 2010 is when I started publicly channeling and sharing. And since then, I've had a great opportunity to channel in a lot of different places for a lot of different people. Yeah, for me, the Lemurian consciousness is very in depth to the ancient Earth creation. I myself am considered an ancient Earth seed. I've been with Earth since the very beginning of the incarnation cycle. I know a lot of star seeds have come into Earth and connected, but for me, it's about the earthbound energy and the ancient cultures of old Earth were really fascinating. I've always found Lemurian consciousness, Atlantean consciousness very interesting. And my guides always work from that extraterrestrial perspective and extra dimensional perspective. So for me, it's going to be a good bridge to help understand more about the impact and history of Lemurian consciousness, how it was brought to the co-creation with these beings, because as my guides have explained before, the ancient societies always worked with extraterrestrials or extra dimensionals in some way. And that energy of collaboration is very interesting to me. And, I've been fortunate enough to hear a lot of information about the Kanki, which was the first race of beings that were third density on Earth, and Atlanteans, Lemurians. So all of these races tie together and connect to the Earth in a very strong way. And because I'm from Earth and I hang out with the extraterrestrials, it'll be a great bridge for me personally too. I get to learn with everybody else. So. Yeah, Treb was the first being I ever connected with, and he is a benevolent reptilian human hybrid. That's kind of a cool label that was given to him, but it fits. He's from Capella, which is a star system. It's about 40 light years from Earth, and in the sky it looks like one star, but when you get there, there's actually four stars. There's two binary systems that work in Capella. Two of them are red dwarf binaries, and two of them are like yellowish white larger stars that are about 10 times bigger than our star here. And Treb and his race live around one of the red dwarfs that go around one another. So it's a very intensive system of energy because all of those stars exist. And there's also a lot of planets around each of those stars, and some planets that actually go around the binary stars. So it's a very interesting dynamic. And I see why Treb's race would be there. He's a fifth density being. He's very tall and very reptilian in physical appearance, which can scare a lot of people. But the moment you connect with his energy, the moment you listen to the way he comes through my own body when I channel him, you can definitely tell that this is a heart-centered energy. And in contrast, his guide, a higher dimensional being, a sixth density being, is Ardif, and Ardif has a relationship to Treb like I had with Treb when I first started. Treb looks up to Ardif for information, inspiration, and to kind of bring down that energy into his own dimension from a higher dimensional vantage point. Ardif is a Denebian being, so he lives on a star system called Deneb. But you might have heard of Ardif as an ancient Pleiadian. Well, he did. He came from the Pleiades. Their whole race evolved into fourth density in the Pleiades, and during late fourth density or early fifth density, I think, they actually left that star system and went to the place where they're at now, which is Deneb. He's a humanoid being. Most people, when they see his physical appearance, which we've had illustrated through art, they think that Ardif is a female because he's a very petite and very beautiful with long hair, physical appearance. And he is a very intricate being where Treb can be felt really well in the heart center. Ardif is felt in a more higher chakra area, like a third eye or crown chakra. He brings in information that's more complex, And he really shines when he talks about the archetypes of energies in our galaxy or in the universe, or talks about the mechanics of consciousness, how consciousness works and why it works. And Trev really focuses in on centering in the heart and getting the same type of information that Ardiv does, but the way it's expressed is just more heart centered. And those are the two beings I've worked with the most. But Mount Shasta is one of the main chakras of Earth. You know, we have seven chakras at the side of our body, seven main chakras. The Earth does too, and Mount Shasta is one of those. Um, Mount Shasta is a big energy and has a lot of different consciousnesses connected with it. And I've heard lots of stories about different entities, beings, or groups that have connected with there. But everyone who I've known who have gone to that place has had a very spiritual, expansive experience. It's one of those magic places in the world. You know, you have Sedona out in the west, and you have Asheville, North Carolina out in the east, and those are really known as spiritual spots. But Mount Shasta is that very big chakra energy. It's the focal central point of energy in the whole United States as far as it comes to the power of the energy. You know, our Earth is connected with grid systems, and those grids interconnect. And where the very largest parts of the grid, you know, just like your veins, you have very large arteries and veins, and then smaller ones and capillaries. It's like that with the grid system. So the largest lines in the grid system, when they intersect, that's where the biggest energies are. And because this is a major chakra, it has not just the biggest lines intersecting, but the biggest vortex around it. So I'm stoked. I'm so excited to be there because it really is like a religious place to go, like Mecca is to the Muslims, or you know, Bethlehem for Christians, or whatever. This is the place for people who are in the spiritual community, the metaphysical community, the channeling community. This is really the place to open up. So I'm stoked.